Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Tvam Eva Purva Sarge Bhu Prishni Swayambhuve Sati Tadayam Satapa Nama Prajapati Akalmasha Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Tvam Eva Purva Sarge Bhu Prishni Swayambhuve Sati Tadayam Sutapa Nama Prajapatir Akalmasha Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Tvam Eva Purva Sarge Bhu Prishni Swayambhuve Sati Tadayam Sutapa Nama Prajapatir Akalmasha Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said to Devaki, Tvam, you, Eva, indeed, Purvasarage, in a previous millennium, Abhu became, Prishni, by the name Prishni, Swayambhuve, the millennium of Swayambhuva Manu. Sati, O supremely chaste. Tada, at that time. Ayam, Vasudeva. Sutapa, Nama, by the name. Prajapati, a Prajapati. Akalmasha, a spotlessly pious person. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead replied, My dear mother, best of the chaste, in your previous birth in the Swayambhuva millennium, you were known as Prishni and Vasudeva, who was the most pious Prajapati, was named Sutapa. Okay, you were known as Prishni, and Vasudeva was the most pious Prajapati, who was known as Sutapa. Okay. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead made it clear that Devaki had not become his mother only now. Rather, she had been his mother previously also. Krishna is eternal, and his selection of a father and mother from among his devotees takes place eternally. Previously also, Devaki had been the Lord's mother, and Vasudeva the Lord's father, and they were named Prishni and Sutapa. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears, he accepts his eternal father and mother, and they accept Krishna as their son. This pastime takes place eternally and is therefore called Nitya Lila. Thus there was no cause for surprise or ridicule, as confirmed by the Lord himself in Bhagavad Gita 4:9. Janma karma cheme divyam evam yo veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naitimam eti sorjuna. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. One should try to understand the appearance and disappearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead from Vedic authorities, not from imagination. One who follows his imaginations about the Supreme Personality of Godhead is condemned. Avajananti mam mudha manushim tanumashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram Bhagavad Gita 9:11. The Lord appears as the son of his devotee by his parambhava. The Lord Bhava refers to the stage of pure love, which has nothing to do with material transactions. So Krishna then, he comes to have interaction with his devotees. And this interaction is based on love. So your step means, and yes, so that's the environment in which he is functioning and his devotees are functioning. Now, for others to take part in this, then they need to be religious. Because a religious person then takes up devotional practice, or can take up. Impious people have a tendency not to. So we see those who are pious, they tend to surrender. Those who are not pious, they tend to not surrender. So, therefore, Krishna comes to establish Dharma, not because that's the prominent thing, but that creates a general environment, an auspicious environment in which people can take advantage of the association of devotees and then come to that platform of prema. Right? So that's what one's trying to accomplish. So, Krishna himself, his interest is just the association of the devotees. Because the Dharma side, that Maya can take care of that. You just adjust the modes, you bring in more goodness, then people tend to be more religious. You bring in more passion, ignorance, they tend to go away. So that's not the main part. But it's mentioned because we have to set things correct, everything has to be in the proper order. And who are we talking to? Right? We're talking to ourselves, means Krishna's talking to ourselves here. Who, being conditioned, then we have our particular sense of justice. Right? Means in the 11th canto we see that justice is explained as seeing everything connected to Krishna. That's actual justice, right? Because justice means doing what's right. And what's right is seeing everything connected to Krishna, the person. That's right. Seeing things not connected to Krishna, that's wrong. So devotional service is right. And not being engaged in devotional service is wrong. So that's the ultimate state of piety, right? On the platform of how do you say, the transcendental platform, the Anandamaya or Aprakrita. Excuse me. Yes, Aprakrita. So on that platform, that's how justice is seen, because justice is a quality of the soul. And that's why everybody can relate to that. Even the animals, they want things to be just. You deal with them properly, they respond properly. You don't, they get upset because it's not correct. So it's inherent in the soul. But we can say is in its natural state, it's being applied in pure devotion. And so therefore then that relationship with Krishna by the devotees in pure devotion, then that's what Krishna is interested and reciprocates on that platform. And then for the 4 lower levels of consciousness, the Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha levels, then he comes to establish that also, because that can be just done as a side thing. Since you're here anyway, you can take care of that. But that's not why he comes. And so, for us, being conditioned, we'll be looking at justice means someone's done something wrong, it needs to be corrected, they have to be punished and all this, because we're taking it that smooth operation of the material world, that's perfection. Right? Not that if it's Krishna conscious or not, that's perfection. And depending upon the level of consciousness, then the next one down will be if it's proper for liberation, then that's good, and what's not in line with liberation, then that's bad, right? So therefore renunciation is good and karma is bad, is impious, right? That's why you see the Upanishads, they just talk about transcendental knowledge and ignorance. They don't talk about the apara vidya, or what's in between, which is material knowledge that is engaged in the Lord's service. They don't discuss that, the Upanishads. Right? So then, if we come down to the next level, the Manamoy level of Dharma, then there is, according to Shastra, it's religious. It's not according to Shastra, it's irreligious. right? And so then persons on that level, then they're very strict on that. It has to be done in the proper way, proper ritual, everything like this, proper time. And then they're happy. You do it that way, they think it's great. You don't do it that way, for them there's something wrong. Just like for the on the platform of Vijnanamoy, then if it's in renunciation, it's detached from the world. It's not about gaining something from the world, but getting out of the world, then that's good. And if you're trying to do something in the world, right? So then we drop to the next platform, the contemporary popular platform of Pranamoy. That means is whatever the mass think is correct, then that's pious. And what they think is not correct, that's impious. So it has nothing to do with the reality of whether it is or not. It's just what everybody feels like. Right? And then the lowest platform, it's correct means it's good for my senses, or good for maintaining life, or it's not. Right? I get some food, that's good. I don't get food, that's bad. Understand? So this sense of justice then is inherent there, and so then the living entity is going to try to function naturally with this as a consideration. So when Krishna says that he comes to correct things in the world, establish dharma, he's meaning according to the scriptures. But also he's meaning that he's establishing through his pastimes that we see things related to him as a person, as Bhagavan. But even if we don't catch that, then we know, okay, he's doing the right thing, I should do the right thing. I'm a devotee, I should do the right thing. So we're thinking, yes, punish all the demons, and then, the devotees, everything will be prosperous. But as we said, that's not his main focus. His main focus is actually the devotee themselves. Their development, it means if the pure devotees, then the interaction with them. If they're sadhakas, then how they can advance nicely. So that's Krishna's focus. So as Prabhupada's pointing out here, then someone like Devaki and Vasudeva, then it's not that they've just now become Krishna's parents. They're always in that position. It's not that every time it comes around there's someone new. It's always the same people. They may take on different forms, like Mother Jashoda comes as Sachimata, but it's Mother Jashoda. And then in the formal sense, then it will always be Vasudeva and Devaki. So she doesn't have to worry that people are going to say it's strange you had a baby with 4 hands. Or, how can you give birth to Vishnu because Vishnu is the one who creates everything, blah, blah, like this. And so therefore then, you're crazy. Right? So the point is wanting to establish properly is he is their son, and so he comes in that 2-armed form. Being in that position, then now he can reciprocate very nicely with the devotees based on that affection. Because the other, then it'll be more formal, because we see with a formality with Vishnu doesn't have parents as such. Does that make sense? In Vaikuntha, he's God. God doesn't have parents. God's the source of everyone, so how he'll have parents? Right? So therefore in Vaikuntha, he's God and everyone's in the mood of service. You don't have friends, you don't have parents, it means Lakshmi is there, but it's not expanded. But when you get to Dwarka, then it's human pastimes. So the whole of Krishna Loka or Goloka is human pastimes. And so in there, then the 5 rasas can be tasted very nicely. Well, at Vaikuntha, it's not human pastimes, he's God. And so then in that environment, then it's opulence and everything. So to establish this, then he's done. But at the same time, so that people will understand he's God, he's come in the 4-armed form. So they'll see that. Then he takes on because then he's establishing Dharma. Those who would be foolish, then they'll understand, okay, he's the supreme. Then he can go into his natural form as the son of Devaki, and then you can appreciate the relationship or rasa that is there between them. Right? Yeah. Okay. Any questions or comments on this? Anything? Yes. You have a question. Okay. We'll start here.
Does Krishna have parents but he's controlling them?
He's got parents, but he's controlling them. Okay, so we're taking that this is an indirect question. You want to know why you can't control your parents. Right? Krishna's controlling his. You want to know why don't they do what you want them to do? Yeah. It's a problem, right? Yeah. Okay. So here is that we see as Vishnu in that he's controlling all living entities, right? As God, he's controlling all living entities. But when he comes like this as Krishna in Dwarka or Krishna in Vrindavan, then as the son of his parents, then he doesn't control them. He's controlled by them. But that control is based on affection, on love. So because of the affection for the parents, that's why then he does what they want him to do. Does that make sense? So you could say behind the scenes he's controlling, but that's not him directly. He's doing that through his energies, through Yoga Maya. So Yoga Maya is taking care of all that. It's just like you have Krishna, Balaram, and Jagannath. Krishna, Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra, right? So Krishna and Balaram and Dwarka, their sister Subhadra, she's Yoga Maya. So actually she's the one controlling everything. But she's doing it behind the scenes. Does that make sense? So for Krishna, the control of things is always, the nicer is when it's behind the scenes. When it's up front, then it's not as tasty for him. It means we think it's great because we're always trying to be the controller. So if it's obvious we're the controller, we think that's good. But for real controllers, they want to control from behind the scenes, right? Unless there's a need, like Yudhishthira Maharaj, then he has to establish his authority as king. So then it's obvious he's in charge. But you see, he's listening to his brothers, he's listening to Vidura, he's listening to Krishna, he's taking advice from his mother, like this. Because that's based on the affection. So you have, does that make sense? So you have both of those. So then, you understand? So in other words, the control is through affection. Does that make sense? So if you want to get things done, look cute. Yeah? That makes sense? Smile, you get it all done. Right? Tantrums don't work so good. Does that make sense? Okay? Yeah. Okay. Yes. Oh, it's going back there. Go back there. Yeah, that way.
Question came up this week. Why did they have to perform 12,000 years of austerities, whereas us, Yashoda and Nanda, they're always the parents. There's no performing of austerities. So why did they have to perform austerities? And if they're eternally the parents, then where does that austerity fit into the equation?
Yes. It fits in from the point of pastimes. Because when they're eternally the parents, but in the material world, we like to have reasons for things. Just like Krishna always has his Sudarshan chakra. But in the pastimes, he gets it from Agni. Like that. So you just always have these things that you can say where it's from. His conch shell he gets from going to the ocean and stuff like that. So it's just a matter of, by putting in effort, you get results. So since you're trying to get God as your son, then you put in some extra special effort, hence the 12,000 years. Right?
So if in Vaikuntha there's no apparent Vatsalya Ras, then it seems like something's lacking in the spiritual world.
No, because the thing is, it's not lacking because you've increased the awe and reverence to a degree where there can't be parents. They're too aware of the philosophical points, the tattva, and his position. And that's why they're worshiping him, because he's God. So it's complete in itself. But as you add in sweetness, then you get Dwarka. So that's what's special about Goloka. Because outside Goloka, it's all Vaikuntha. So it's all he's God. But in Goloka, then he's always the son of Devaki, the son of Nanda Maharaj, like this. And so then, because of the human pastimes, then the values, the qualities, the endeavors are all on the human platform. And so therefore then, the rasas are there, then you see all the parents and the friends and the relatives and, the servants and everything there. So that's then, you could say, more complete. And then you have then Vrindavan, then that's the most complete. Because there it's just sweetness, so it's based on, but the difference is that it's just pure love. So they're not even interested in the concept of liberation. When we say liberation, we're not talking here of merging in Brahman. We're talking about, the Swarupya, Samipya, and those ones where you're on the same planet, you're an associate of the Lord, you have the same features, you have the same opulence. So it's something that's more obvious that you have, but it's transcendental. It's in connection with the Lord, but it's still something that you want and you want to experience. Or we see in Vrindavan, then they just want to serve Krishna. And so by the arrangement of the Lord, then they already have all those opulences, but that's not what they're trying to taste. So that's why you see that's the pure devotion is in the spiritual world. But Vrindavan is pure unalloyed. It's in another category. Does that make sense?
So when he appears as Upendra, as Vamadev, that's not counted as one of the Vaikuntha pastimes, but rather as...
It'll be more connected, like I said, you have the aspect of Dwarka, which is a mix. It'll be kind of like in that kind of category. Because you see all the demigods, they'll come in as the Yadus, like that. So that means all the parents that are there in the universe that are connected in that way, they'll all appear in Devaki. All those potencies are in Devaki and Vasudeva. Just like when Lord Chaitanya comes, then also all those parents are all within Jagannath Mishra and Sachidev. Like that. All those flavors are there. In other words, it's a particular aspect of the flavor of the relationship. So you can say Mother Jashoda, that has all the aspects. Then when you come down to Vasudeva and Devaki, it has most of them. Right? When you come down to the others, it'll have a little bit less. It's still parental, but you're not manifesting as much of the range of feelings and that could be there. Because in his pastime, being the Manvantar avatar and being a Leela avatar, Vamana is special like that because he's in a few categories. And so then they have that relationship, but at the same time, he's generally busy doing whatever he's doing, right? So, okay. Okay, then I think it was that side, and yeah, on the other side of the pillar, it's coming around the back there.
The question that I wanted to ask he asked already. Every millennium, Sutapa and Vishnu, they have to do 12,000 years of austerity.
Okay. A day of Brahma, okay, then you have the 4 yugas, right? So the 4 yugas together, that's a Divya yuga. So that's 4,332,000 years. Then you'll have 1,000 of those. So you're talking about 4,320,000,000 years in a day of Brahma. Once in a day of Brahma, then Swayam Krishna will come. Right? So 12,000 years in 4,320,000 is a problem? We're cool? They're eternally married. See, okay, let's get back to the root of this. Okay. It's a phenomena, this root, this doubt comes, is that when we come into the material world, because the soul is eternal, and one of its qualities is ananda, then there's two illusions that the living entity comes under control of. When he comes under the control of the Ajnana Shakti, he comes under these two illusions. One's called Vaikuntha Brahma, and the other called Ananda Brahma. So Vaikuntha Brahma means we think everything's eternal. Like we think we're going to live eternally and things like that. And Ananda Brahma means everything will give happiness. So this question will come in the context of the Vaikuntha Brahma, is that we do something, we expect it to be eternal, right? We have a feeling of the eternalness of it. There's a relationship, the eternal. And how often do you have to pay your rent? You just pay it once and it's eternal? You just eat lunch once and it's eternal? You make that complaint every day, your wife serves lunch. Why do we have to eat lunch again? We ate that, didn't we, okay, we got married and then there's that day where the wife cooks and feeds all the relatives and all that, then that should have been it eternally. We never have to eat again, right? Or are we okay with eating again? Yeah, so then, why? Because it's nice, it's a pastime, it's an activity, it's interrelationship, so why wouldn't it be nice if they do austerities again? Right? Okay? Now let's look at the other side of this Brahma, this illusion of the Vaikuntha. We do something nice for the wife, and we think the results of that will last eternally. Right? But if it was like super excellent, you'll get 3 days out of it. And if it was okay, maybe a smile, a nod, You understand? So this thing is, why can't it be like that? Because it's about relationship. Relationship means an ongoing, constant interaction. Because otherwise, if you do something and then stop, where's the relationship? Does that make sense? Have you heard the term couch potato? Yeah. Okay. So is it like a positive thing, or it's generally kind of considered a negative connotation? Okay, let's take it in the social context. All right? It's negative, no? Right? As far as the men are concerned, it's a fabulous position to be in, but, right? But that's because I did my work. Now I just sit back and enjoy the results. But the point is a relationship means it's constant. It doesn't stop. So that means performing activities to please the Lord, that doesn't stop. It doesn't end. It's an ongoing thing because it's so nice. Because Krishna being pleased, then the devotee is pleased, and so that's the greatest pleasure. Simply the mechanical accomplishment of something, that's not where the real taste lies. If you do something and it comes out perfect, but you don't get any taste for that, you won't consider it good. Like let's say there's the thing is that the guy thought, yeah, I'll do this and I'll get my degree and I'll get this job and I'll make this much money and I'll have this house and I'll have this car and I'll have, I'll be there on Marine Drive and, the whole thing. Then when he gets it, he finds it's a bit empty. He first moves in, it's great, but then when he's there and nobody else is around and the hoopla is over and he's simply looking out his window towards the ocean there and down at the street there, then it's the same old thing every day. Then he starts to see there is nothing there. So it's the experience that's important. So a pastime, its advantage is that it produces facilities for experience. Does that make sense? Right? So just like this, look at this. You have to eat to nourish your body, right? But now to nourish your body, you could just take some rice and dal and boil it together and, no, you don't need, don't put anything on it and eat that every day and that's all you eat, right? It could work. Right? So now, as we said, we did that first day where the wife cooks for the family and cooked really nicely, really tastefully and everything like that. And then from the next day, then just cook this simple khichdi or kanji if you're from the south, whatever it is, your simple one. And that's it. No need of flavor or anything. And if she asks, well, why is no flavor? No, it had flavor. That one had flavor. You enjoy it. You just think about it. While you're eating your bland khichdi, you just think about that meal. Yeah, and that'll work, right? Isn't that? Are you happy with that? No? So then it's the constant endeavor, the constant interaction. That's why Krishna's pastimes are eternal. So therefore, the process of arranging something has a taste. And so that's done again. You understand? Because if we're looking at mechanics, okay, the mechanical aspect is I did it, it's done. Right? I bought the house, it's done. Okay, it's nice. Now what are you going to do with the house? Now you have to do things with the house and that. You understand? So in the same way is that it's constantly going on. So things that are nice, people like to do them over and over again. Right? Even though it's been done. Does that make sense? Yeah. So that's the whole thing, is it has that process. And that let's say one's always eating at home, okay? And then for a change, you go out to dinner. So that means, getting ready, getting in the car, driving there, driving. It's all part of the taste. Because if it was just about the eating, then what about all that other trouble of going there, coming back, and this and that? You just stay at home. You understand? But it's part of the thing. So these things of his parents performing austerities to establish themselves, then that sets that. One, it has a taste itself amongst them. And two, it sets example that if you want something, then you have to work for it. They 12,000 years to become a parent. You just have to this lifetime chant Hare Krishna and go back to Godhead. You understand? So be happy. It's not 12,000 years. And that I know of, it might have been 12,000 celestial years. Yeah, so then multiply that by 360. So it's a lot longer for us. So, it's hundreds of thousands of years. So be happy. Okay?
Hare Krishna, thank you for the class. How do you give John's room to indulge in it and be the devil's advocate? Be the devil's advocate.
You're going to be the devil's advocate.
Is it okay with you just give me the room?
But here's means you're announcing you're the devil's advocate, and that's fine, and we're cool with that. But there's also rules for being the devil's advocate. It means what you're going to advocate, you have to be able to say in one sentence. It means the actual point you want to make. Then you can take some time to explain it, but you start with what it is you want to make. Don't give the explanation, and then as we're waiting at the end, then finally drop it on us because of the devil's grace upon the community. Okay.
Thank you so much. Actually, you're a very good lawyer.
Okay.
Because they're setting the rules.
Yeah.
Question is, why does Krishna, being the all-powerful God, need to surround himself with associates and very, very favorable people? If he's very powerful, he's very powerful.
Yeah, he's powerful.
God is very powerful. Why does he need to surround himself with the most favorable people?
The most favorable people. It's just like this.
Etc.
Yeah. But I mean, what's the alternative he'll surround himself with?
Look at us. I mean, we are not given the chance to be surrounded by the most favorable people.
No, you were given the chance. You didn't take it. That's just like, let's say, that's like saying the person in prison saying, oh, but those people outside the prison, why do they have all these nice things? Where's our opportunity? But why are you there? You made your choice.
So what is my crime? That I want to enjoy separately from God?
But see
if my son wants to enjoy separately from me,
wait. And why that wouldn't be a crime? Who are you that you can function independently of God? Means all this energy here that you want to deal with and enjoy, whose energy is it? It's not ours. We don't produce it. You can claim and say, this little piece of land is mine, and then you die, and then it's not yours anymore. Right? So who produces it? That's who it belongs to. So Krishna produces it. That means it's his. That would be like going into a rich man's house and then saying, I can do whatever I want, use the facilities how I want, claim it's mine, do all that kind of stuff like that without any recognition of the person who owns the house. So, is that not criminal?
I understand how you're looking at this. But the crime is that Krishna is our father and we are his children.
Yes, but then act like his children. So why don't you act like his child?
Let's take that as a norm, okay? Krishna is the father and the children. The crime is we wanted to enjoy separately from him.
Yeah.
How can it be a crime to enjoy separately from the father? I have a son who wants to enjoy separately from me. I don't punish him for that.
If you want, if this is going, so you don't want to have a spiritual discussion. You just want to discuss local social values as are being followed in Bombay or something right now. Is that what we want to do? You want to establish? Now the thing is what I want to know is why do you want to establish like Bombay is the main place? Why not Delhi or why not Chennai? Or, why don't we go over to, Kumbakonam or something like that? No, now don't try don't try to change your position now that suddenly now you're all spiritual. The whole point is that
it's a very simple question.
It is a very simple question, but you're not understanding your question.
You're going the goalpost.
See, the point is you're asking a question, but you're not seeing what your motive is in asking it.
The motive is I feel
that you're doing a better job as a parent than Krishna. Yes, I get that.
I'm feeling that I did not commit a crime to be here, to be punished.
Yeah, and that's okay. That's okay. And you can stay here as long as you like. You don't have to worry.
I'm not free.
What?
Not free.
You're not free. But how can you be free? It's like saying your hand is doing something that you don't want to do. I mean, that's not supposed to do. And then why is it a crime? If I'm sitting here and I want to do this and my hand's always trying to get me and strangle me and everything like that, and, like this. And then we're saying, the hand is saying, but I'm doing nothing wrong. It's what I want to do. I feel like strangling him and all that. You're not understanding. You're part and parcel of Krishna. You're taking that you're something completely separate on your own, can make your own decisions, but you're part of the total whole, and you're not taking part as that whole. So therefore, then how is it you can say it's not criminal? That's the whole point is you're separating yourself from Krishna and then making your argument based on that when the soul is coming from Krishna. It's one of Krishna's energies. And energy can't function separately than the energetic. That's like the electricity in the lines, saying I can act independently than the generator. I don't need the generator. What's wrong? Why is the generator, So that's the difficulty, is that you're saying that my son does things that's separate and I don't punish him. And because the bottom line is you can't punish him. You can't do anything about it. So you've just surrendered and what to do. That's what all the kids are doing these days. Yeah, but you'll get no effect. You'll get no effect. It's because when he was young, you could control him, and now he's big, you can't control him, and now you're the big, I'm the cool father, I'm the this, I'm mellow, I'm not like this. And now you want to blame Krishna. So you have to be able to appreciate that being part and parcel of Krishna, that's our position. And so, therefore, you can stay here. And who's making the arrangements here? Are you making the arrangements? You're creating the concept of economy. You're creating the concept of family. You're creating these relationships. Or Krishna's the power of that. So even though you're separate from Krishna, Krishna is providing everything for you. Are you going to do that for your son when he's off somewhere else, and you're going to provide everything for him and get zero return from him? No. So don't try to compare yourself to Krishna. So in this is that he's sitting in your heart. Wherever you go, you end up as a worm and stool. Krishna's there with you. And I guarantee if you're a worm and stool, your mom will not come with you into that body. There's a limit. So that's the whole point is that he's doing everything and then we're not, and we still want to blame him. Hence, avajananti mam mudha. That's why this verse is here.
I'm not deriding Krishna. All I'm saying is...
You're not deriding means, are you listening? Here, just 1 second. Does everybody understand what the crime is?
Of course, everyone will understand, Maharaj.
Yeah,
Maharaj, when it goes, I'm very happy that you answered that. You try to answer the question from your point.
Here, let's do it. Let's do one thing.
You don't need to deride me, sir.
Okay. You want to have a nice discussion? You do that. You want to do your own step? Sure, here's the audience. Sure.
Bhakti Purna Swami.